Good morning, everybody. And we're here in this really beautiful place, Belvedere House, and what I'm just going to talk to you about is some of the owners of the house, including the man who will be one of the main focuses of our conference today, Charles Howard Bury, the Everest explorer. This house, Belvedere, was built around 1740. The architect was Richard Castle, and it was built essentially as a hunting lodge for Robert Rochford, who became first Earl of Belvedere. This is Robert here, wearing the robes of a peer of the realm. He was a member of the Irish House of Lords. Born in 1708, became a member of Parliament for Westmeath when he was just 23. Came from a family extremely involved in politics and the military and land ownership in 18th century Ireland. His grandfather had been the Attorney General of Ireland and was actually responsible for drawing up much of the legislation we refer to as the penal laws. Robert was married twice. His first wife died from smallpox only a couple of years into their marriage, and they had no children. So he then married Mary Molesworth, who was just 16. He was 28, she was 16. A beautiful girl from a very powerful and significant Dublin family. Her grandfather, Robert Molesworth, was a noted philosopher and one of those involved in the development of what would become patriot politics and indeed 18th century republicanism. Mary, her family were very keen for her to marry Robert Rochford because he was one of the wealthiest men in the country. She wasn't so happy about it, but she didn't really have much say in the matter. And so she was married to this young and very wealthy man who was described as being a very handsome man, a man of considerable talent and abilities, elegant and expensive in his tastes, and with highly polished manners. However, he was also considered by many to be haughty and vindictive and selfish and dissipated. And the marriage was not a happy one. They had 4 children, 3 boys and a girl, and then things began to go seriously wrong. He was spending less and less time with her. He was having affairs. She was accused of having an affair with her neighbour and brother-in-law, Arthur Rochford. She always denied that. But in any case, she ended up being basically put under house arrest by her husband and spent 30 years under house arrest, not at this place, Belvedere. She probably never set foot here, but at their main house, Galstown House, a few miles from here at Rochford Bridge. And she remained there until he died. He'd also gone after his brother Arthur. There was definitely a vindictive streak in Robert. He never forgot a slight, and he pursued his brother, who had gone abroad but then very unwisely came back to Dublin and found himself charged with basically adultery. Ended up actually in prison, in the debtor's prison, and there he remained, and he actually died in prison. Now, Robert Rochford lived a life of luxury here at Belvedere. There were wonderful accounts of 7-course dinners, just himself and maybe one other person, and 7- and 8-course dinners with a whole tribe of servants there looking after them. He seems to have had quite a wild sort of life. He certainly drank a great deal. I've been trying to find something good to say about him. It's very difficult. He's not known as the Wicked Earl for nothing.